and welcome to Amethyst Star Crafting. My name is Jane Ormark and I'm a UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. And today I thought that we would have some fun with this really lovely punch, which is called Perennial Flower Punch. Now you can find it on page 188 in the annual catalogue, and it is for making flowers. So I'm going to show you on, let me have a look, Perennial Essence, which is the coordinating stamp set. And the nice thing about the catalogue is it always gives you some nice ideas and things. So let me have a look and see. It is in on the front here. So we have, it's in the front, we've got all the bundles and things in here. So let me find the Floral Essence. So the Floral Essence is a coordinating stamp set and the punch together, and you get 10% off if you get them both. And you can see on here the sort of little flowers that you can do with it. So very pretty, but I thought we would have a go at doing something a little bit more intricate. So very easy punch. All you're going to do is to punch out, we're going to do 2 different flowers, so each flower will take 10 of the petals. So if you punch out 10 of them, and you will need something like a this is just a skewer. So it's a wooden kebab skewer. A cocktail stick will be absolutely fine. You want something with a fine point. So we're going to make this little one first. And again, you can see that you can put, what I would finish off with this probably is to put some of the faceted gems and maybe just put one of those inside. But they will make beautiful toppers. And I think that this looks a little bit like a water lily. So with this one, what you need to do is to take something like, now I use one of our sponges because they come in a pack of 3. They're really easy and cheap to do. And what we need to do is we need to break down the fibres first of all. So I'm literally just going to run the skewer, cocktail stick or whatever around it. In on there. It doesn't really matter which way you're doing it because all we're doing is just getting the fibres down, so you can do them whichever way you want. And I'm using up some of the retired DSP that I have, because I find that when a new catalogue comes out we tend to just hang on to it and hoard it. So as I say, I'm just bending the fibres to start off with. Then I'm going to take the take your pick tool, and I'm using the fat scoring tool on there. And then what you need to do is just put it down on here, and you are going to just start to curl it up from the inside, turn it round, and then if you take it from the outside in, hold it, so from the outside in, and just take it right down on the center and keep curling it. Where it hits that little piece in the middle, it will start to bend through. So let's just take this down on here, and we're going to bend it through so you've got just a little shape like that. Now we're going to do one of the other ones, and what I need to do is to just curl it back in the other direction. So you're breaking the fibres down, so I need to curl it up this way, take it from there, from the outside in, and just roll it with the with your tool, and just take it down, roll it like this. And you'll see some of them will bend more than others. It depends on the pressure that you put on it, but it's quite good to just sort of roll it down like that. You see, that's come beautifully. So we can turn and do that one. And I tend to do 2 at a time. So I need to take these back the other way. So we're curling them so that they're coming up towards us. And as I say, this bit really is to just break the fibres down to make the actual curling process a little bit easier. So say from the outside in, outside in, and outside in. And you'll find that as you get to, I'm going to do it a few times, as you get to the little bit in the centre there, that's what will curl it round even more. So you take it from the outside, as you bring it in, you can see how it curls over, and you've got this really sort of tight little piece here. So we're going to take the first two pieces, move that out of the way, and we're going to have that one in the centre. So you need then a little bit of wet glue. Let's take the wet glue, and you're just going to put that in. We have a very hot, sticky day today, so I'm hoping that my wet glue is going to be all right. And all you need to do is you can just open them up a little bit and just put a little bit of the wet glue in the centre. And then you are going to take the piece and put it in so that it comes in on the opposite side of there. So you just need to sort of wriggle it round a bit, and what I do is I take the other end of the skewer, so once I've positioned it I can then just manipulate it just round a little bit so it comes out where I want, and then press it round. You can see how the wet glue will allow it to twist, so you can get it exactly where you want, and then when that glue's set you can just bring it in together. So let's do the next one. So I need this coming up this way, and then again to take the pointy end of this and just bring it from, take that end, bring it from that end down, bring it in, that end down and bring it in, and this end down and bring it in. And as I say, you can do it with your pokey tool. You can do it with the kebab stick. Anything that's small around. A small knitting needle would work. A small crochet hook would work. Anything that's quite small. And as I say, it's from the outside in. Just roll it down. Turn it. Roll it down. Turn it. Roll it down. That's another one. So that's the next two. So the next two we are going to do exactly the same thing. So we're going to take a little bit of wet glue in the centre, and I find the easiest way is to do it in pairs, because then you're working it up one to the other. So that's going to go again into the centre, and I just sort of drop it down, then take the tool and just press that in so it then comes into the centre, and then you've got that one in there. And then the easiest way is take glue from the bottom, so the bottom of this circle on this one, then you can literally just place it. So we're just going to open these petals up just a little bit, and we're going to pop the centerpiece in. Then we're going to take the skewer so we can get it in the center, and we can just sort of twist it around a little bit and then press it down, and you can see the start of this really pretty, make sure it's not stuck to the bottom of the skewer, this really little flowers starting to take shape. So that's 4. So let's get the next pair going. And again, you want it to, or wanting it to come up this way. So just do them so they're tucking in. And this time I'm not doing them as much. So I'm just literally going to bend these ones like this, because as the water lily, because I think it looks quite like a water lily, as the water lily sort of opens, you don't want it as tight, because otherwise it's not going to stick onto the other bits. So again, just put this in the center, take your skewer, and you can see you can rotate it round so you get it exactly where you want it. Put that one down, take the bottom of this one, piece on the bottom, and then again you can pop that in on the center and try and sort of line it so that the petals will be going into the center of the next ones down. So again, I can twist that round just a little bit so I've got those in where I want them here. So that's 6. And then let's do the next one. So you're curling the petals inwards on each one, like that. And we'll take another one. I would suggest that if you use whatever designer series paper, pattern paper you want, try and make sure that the pattern on each side is the same sort of colour tones, because if you've got something that is very different, it's going to stand out too much and not going to look like a real flower. So you can do it with cardstock. You can do it with, as I say, any designer series paper you've got. This was some that I've had for quite a long time, but I quite like the pink tones on both sides. So again, it's one of those things, those pieces of designer series paper and things that we hoard and we don't use. It's a nice way of doing it. So again, press those so that they're going in between, and as you put the skewer in the center, you'll be able to see exactly where it's going to come. So that's making that again just a little bit more, get that stick off of there, just a little bit more shaped. And again, you can tidy those pieces up as you go. So let's do the last one. So this one is going to have very, very little movement at all. So you're literally just doing it right on the edge. So just turning it up. So it's fairly flat on this one because this is going to be right on the outside. So again, you can glue in the center of this piece, or you can use the bottom of that one, whichever you want. Just line them up opposite each other. And as I say, what I do is I tend to rest them down first, then take the bottom of my skewer so I can then put it in the center and then just sort of twist it round so I've got it exactly where I want it. Hold the glue down. This is why wet glue is really good to use for something like this. So you can see this one is, there's hardly any movement on that one at all. Little bit in the bottom of here. And then this one is going to go again just taken out from the others. Press that down. Make sure that's in the middle. Hold it for a few seconds until it's just taken. And there you've got it. Then you can do a little bit of manipulation if you want. So if you want these pieces to come out a little bit, we want these pieces to come in a little bit more, just sort of, you know, tuck them with your fingers, take them so that they come in as you want, and you've got a beautiful little flower that's coming in. So as I say, I'm just going to tuck these little pieces up a little bit more, and you can see that's one I did with some of the other designer series paper, but you've got these really pretty little like little water lilies. So now we're going to go on to make a chrysanthemum. This one, again, use your tool. You need 10 pieces of designer series paper, again whatever colour you want. So this time you put it on the end and you are going to roll. So just take it and roll it across, and you should be able to almost roll it round in a circle. Then you take the next one and again take it through. Depending how thick your designer series paper is, depends how well it will curl. But as I say, just give it a little curl in on here. Turn this piece off and give that a little curl like that. So you've got 3 little curls. Now we're going to do exactly the same with the others. So take it down from the end and just roll it round in a circle. If you don't get it too far up, so take it to about there, you don't run as much risk of the paper tearing at the top. And again, it really depends on the thickness of your designer series paper to how much it turns, you know, it will move, manipulate, but what you're doing is you're just making these little curls. So we've got 2. So I'm going to go ahead and carry on and do the rest of them so we can just see. The first one I've done it in just copy paper, because I thought as well with our shimmer mists and our little spray bottles, what we can do is to put some ink in there and just spray just the outside of it. Now you can see sometimes you will get the pieces that just don't want to curl round, so just sort of play with them a little bit and just sort of, you know, manipulate them quite sort of gently. You can see on this one, this side is not wanting to sort of go round as much, so I'm just going to try and bend that in a bit and then go back. And what you want to do is to try and twizzle it right the way round on your stick. So that one that way. I'm doing some of them one way and some of the other because this paper has got sort of 2 different patterns on it, but it's exactly the same colour tone, so I can do that fairly easily. So I'm going to do 4 and then we'll stop and show you how to put these ones together. But you can see it's a fairly quick process. It's not going to take a huge amount of time. It's more just sort of fiddling round with it. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing. We're going to take a blob of wet glue in the centre, and we're going to take this flower petal and we're going to put it on there. Just sort of balance it in the direction you want. Then you're going to take the bottom of your skewer and you're going to put it in like that. Okay, so that's 2 of them. Then we are going to do exactly the same with the next one. Now with this one, what you can do is you can take it up to a point, put this in, put it across on here so it goes into this piece, and again just rest it on top and then press it into the center there. Take the next one and do the same thing with this one because we want this to come up into like a little point. Put the glue on the bottom of that one, and then this one is going to go on the opposite side. So again, when you put it in, you're going to have it so that it goes that way. And again, for pressing it in, just take the, try and get it as straight as you can. It's not always easy, but just get it across on the middle part of there, and then just start to press it down in there. And again, if you twist it, the little wooden cocktail stick, you'll see that it's starting to just sort of take those points into the top. Okay, so let's go and do the next one on here. So this one we're going to again just take it from the bottom here, and you're just going to roll it. And as I say, if it doesn't want to roll, just bend it on the other side and then just give it a roll, because you want to try and roll it to get as much of a point as you can. So again, just sort of bend it in there, take it from the bottom, twizzle it round, try and get it as neatly as you can into a point or into a little curl, and then do the last one in on there. Take another one to do this one this way round. And as I say, you could do them any colour you want, really. You can use them with cardstock. The only thing I would say that would be a little bit difficult is that if the paper is really thick. So I know that, you know, some of our designer series paper is what they call speciality. And so speciality tends to be a little thicker. Now, you could try slightly dampening the paper first so that you have a little bit more ease of manipulation. But then you'd have to be quite careful as it dries or as you put it on that it doesn't tear. So this one again, I'm taking it from the bottom, popping this one in on the centre like that, taking the bottom piece and just pressing it down. So we've got that in the centre. And then I'm going to take this one, which should be nicely glued now, glue it on the bottom, and then we're going to put this one in, and again just rotate it so that the petals underneath are as centered as you can get them, and then put it in on the center like this and just press it down, and again just do a little bit of a twizzling act. Twizzling is a technical term, I've decided, but just put it in, because then that gives you just that little bit. I think this pink one is going to be absolutely beautiful. We have such lovely designer series paper, and as I say, I'm a great hoarder. I've hoarded lots and lots of different paper over the years, and to be quite honest, I'm really getting now into the habit of using up various bits that I've got, and quite often it is only sort of, you know, half a sheet or you know, a little strip of this or a little strip of that, and it's worth making sure that we use up everything or as much as we can. It allows us room to then get some more, and I always think that's quite nice. We've got some beautiful patterns in our new papers, and I've got the bird ballad, and I've got the perennial essence, but I wanted something that was sort of pink. So, you know, we all have lots and lots of different papers and things that we have, and as I say, this works with virtually all of them. And again, you can put them on you can put them on all sorts of things. I'm just going to bend this a little bit to try and give it a little bit of an ease of movement. So if you can put them on, as I say, on the tops of boxes, you can put them on the top of all sorts of things. Now you can see that one's just torn at the bottom, but once it's actually in place, it won't matter. And the reason it did that was because I put the stick too far up. You need to have the stick far enough down that you can work with it for it to roll, but not so far up that it is going to tear the paper. So it is a bit of a sort of an experimentation. So let's pop a little bit of glue on the back of this one, put this one in like this, and put it in on the center. They do twizzle round a bit, but once you've sort of laid it down, and then take the bottom of that skewer into place, and then, as I say, we can get the bottom of this one. Oh, that one's come off of there. Just pop a little bit more glue on there, put this one in on here like that in its place, give it a press down again. There we go. And as I say, you can just sort of give it a press around like that. Take that one up, put a little bit of glue on the bottom. I think these would look quite nice in a little bowl as well, you know, just as a little sort of center decoration. So let's just put that one in the center, take that one down like that, and just give it a press down into the bottom. And as I say, as you press it, you need to press it fairly firmly so that it goes down with the curls. It keeps the curls going up, but works them down in the bottom. So just in like that, and you've got that, and then I need another one to just go across there. So let's just do this last one on here that I'd sort of done bits of it. In fact, I've got another 2. So I always said you need about 10. And it's entirely up to you when you want to stop. You know, you can build it up and build it up until you've got the right sort of shape. And then obviously, you know, you can stop there and go like, well, actually, that's enough. So, so let's take this one, because I want one to, and we might take this one as well while we're at it, so that we've got our full quota. Now you see that bent quite well, but that's because I'd done a lot of manipulation first to slightly sort of break down the fibres. Paper can be quite interesting the way it works. It can be very strong sometimes and almost refuse to curl or bend or do anything. And other times, you see here, this is curling quite nicely, because I've already bent down some of the fibres. So it's a matter of playing with. As I always say, I try and bring some ideas and some tips of how I've done it. It's then up to you to sort of go away and turn around and go, oh, actually, no, I think I'm going to do it this way, and create your own way of doing it. But as I say, I think it does make some absolutely beautiful flowers, and slightly different ways of doing it than the ones that you know, we expect to do. So I'm just going to put this on here and make this a 4, or a 6 rather. Never strong at maths. So put that down on there. That a good press. That's slightly opened up a bit, but I think that'll be fine, because what I want to do is to put this one in on the bottom and make it the last one. So we want this so that it's going to come in onto that bit on there, because that's the bit that wasn't quite enough on that side. So there again, and you can press it down quite firmly and give it a bit of a wiggle. The more that you put on, the more you're going to have to sort of firmly press it down, so that you know that it's actually sticking in on that bottom piece on there. Okay, and then you've got a rather pretty looking chrysanthemum. And again, you know, make a few of them, put them in a little vase, or say put them on as a decoration, because they're flat at the bottom, decoration on the top of a box, and you've got these lovely little ones that come out like water lilies. So another way of using this beautiful punch, I will put links and everything down below so you can get it from my shop, and as I say, just a piece of foam, a pokey tool of some sort, and you can create some really beautiful flowers. So thank you so much for watching me. Do look forward to seeing you again. Bye bye.